Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's been a while since we've done a podcast here with myself and Ross, but we finally found a bit of time to catch up with each other. Today being Friday, the 22nd of September, 2023. We are still in strange times, and man, what a couple of months it's been, Ross.
Unreal, Andy. Wow, we're the country's a different place from even the beginning, from the start of the year. We're in a different country right now. Because of this, it's been so much packed into such a short amount of time as well, Andy. So much packed into. We've done a lot this summer.
We've done a hell of a lot. I mean, from before the voyage, we were flat out with the campaign, getting the books off the shelves in the libraries, in the shops. We were serving lots of places. We were traveling all over this country. And then we went on our Sovereign Voyage, which we didn't realize the impact that had on the nation, was pretty incredible. I mean, the first day that we started in Limerick, the attention that I wasn't expecting, so much media attention, fake news media attention that we got, because the next day we were looking, there was like article after article after article. And it was a massive, massive success.
Yeah, it was. And we saw that as we were traveling up the river. The amount of people that were hunting us down, essentially, like to give us money and to give us support and to say, well done, keep it up,
And to call us Nazis as well.
Well, they're a special kind of people,
It wouldn't have been, I have to say, like, it was kind of like a movie, because we were always avoiding the bad guys, like, and
Yeah.
we avoided them through the whole journey, basically.
And the
But we had to
climax
have
at the
that
very end.
pinnacle. The very end, we had to have the pinnacle, like, which
Yeah.
it made it at the end, really, it did,
Yeah.
It was a fantastic ending to the voyage, even though it was crazy. I mean, like, talk about possession in people. The demonic possession in the left is so visible in your face that you can easily
Yeah.
spot it. You easily know they're spiritually dead inside, and
Yeah.
they have nothing to live for, only to try and tear us down,
I
you know.
guess our luck ran down. You came up with some good tactics to really throw them off the scent and to keep them waiting for days at certain libraries in Athlone and Carcashannon as well. But yeah, when you look in their eyes, they're not all quite there. They're not all quite there.
No.
Even yesterday, we myself and a few friends, we did a few schools. We did two schools yesterday. And I was saying to Coyd afterwards, about the look in these people's eyes. The vast majority of parents were so happy to receive our information. But I saw this one man, and I just knew, like, he was a lefty. I could just tell just by
Yeah.
looking at him. There's a certain vibe off there. And I gave him the flyer. I approached him, and he was asking me about the flyer, and I was describing about, the over sexualization of children, how the UN and the WHO and all that, and he didn't want to hear it, Andy. And like, sometimes when your gut tells you something, it tells you that for a reason,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
they definitely do have a vacuous look in their eye.
Oh, they do. I mean, and it really is a spiritual problem that we're facing in this country. It's gone so demonic. It really is so in your face. Like, if you can't see the spiritual problems that we're facing, I mean, you really do have your head buried in the sand. I mean, just to talk about going up to Shannon there, we had people waiting at every library. They thought we were going to be there.
Yeah.
And we left them waiting there, didn't we, Ross? We knew that they were doing us a big favor by even as crazy as they all looked, they were protesting, bringing attention for us to the libraries. And we can talk about it publicly now, because that's exactly what they did for us, and we were very happy with that. And we were leaving them there for days, knowing that they were going to be there doing it for us.
Well, let's take Athlone for an example. We said on a Wednesday afternoon or something like that, we're on our way to Athlone. So they
Yeah.
were there from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They were like, "Are they ever going to come?" We finally arrived on Saturday, but we went nowhere near the library until it was closed and they took off themselves, and we went there
But
as well.
not only that, there was nobody at the library in that
But there
loan.
was
And
the
when we went
kids.
there, we had the biggest pile of kids come
Yeah.
running over to get in behind the banner when they seen us. You know, they were cheering us on. You know, and that was
Rubbing salt in the wounds, Andy, big time, because they're the optics that they don't want. And down here in Cork as well, just to touch on the kids, I've had a father approach me at the last Cork Says No rally, and he said, "My daughter wants to meet you, and just to thank you for what you're doing," because she was only about 13, I think. And I asked her about what she felt, and her friends, none of them want this. None of the kids want this stuff thrown down.
and all they need is a voice to get behind. The same way they got behind the banner in that loan is they're afraid, but when somebody is there to cheer them on to do the right thing, they'll do it. You know, they want something, and it's like that. It's the fear of being ostracized in public, the way we have been, that keeps them from doing that.
But it was also kind of a cool thing for them to do as well, because there was a rebellious kind of a moment, you know.
It was.
And they saw us standing there.
It was.
They were, you know, we couldn't hold them back. They were there to take a picture with us. But that was that loan. You wound them up for 3.5 days, from Wednesday till halfway through Saturday.
That was just that loan. We ended up winding up the whole town of Scariff for the whole weekend, because we did the same kind of tactics there. We showed up just at the end of the festival.
Well, we had a welcoming committee when we went into Scariff. There was a few of them holding the flags, like, you know, it's like their death move, you know. If we hold up our flag, we'll win the day, like, you know. It's like they have this bizarre mentality, like they can slay us with a flag and it's going to put a stop to us and our campaign. No, I'm sorry, lads. It's going to take more than a flag to
and
stop us.
When we were going up into that loan, one of my favorite parts, you know, when I put out the clip with the Jaws music, you know, they have their flag over the bridge, and I mean, we knew that there was something going on there. We knew that we were waiting to be attacked from all sides.
We had shields at the ready.
We had the shields at the ready. Mike was up front, and Mike was like getting lackadaisy, and I was like, "Mike, watch up front!" And he's getting to attention like that, and up the front with the shield and all like that. But we did get a big rock.
Yeah, wow,
thrown at us.
Wow, the audacity, the arrogance, the I don't know where their mind frame is, Andy, to think that he could do that, because that was the size of bigger than a fist, that rock.
That rock could easily kill somebody if they got a bang of it in the head.
Back of the head is the worst place to hit someone. That's why in boxing you can't hit someone in the back of the head. It's the most. The skull is at the thinnest at the back of the head. But yeah, he could have brained someone with that rock.
Very easily, very easily. But you know, we defended ourselves. You jumped out of the bow. I once I seen him attacking you, because I was trying to record.
I know that. The sail was in the way.
The sail was getting in the way. I couldn't record it, but he was hitting you in the back of the head or something like that.
I couldn't believe it.
By the time I got up,
I couldn't believe it. I was standing there, you know. The flag was fair game as far as I was concerned. I was going to take that flag, you know. He came up behind me. You were coming underneath the bridge as I was looking down at you. He put his arm around my throat, my neck like this, and he got his forearm and he started belting me, like, you know. And God love him, like, you know. You know what's your one's name from Carrick and Shannon? What's her name again? That demon. Anyway, Leah. Sorry, Leah. Look, I'm going to give Leah a little compliment here, because she hit harder than him. She hit me. It wasn't captured on camera, but she hit me in the back of the head too. And I have to say, you know, the girls won, and the girls were better than the boys on this one. But I'm not surprised coming from their side. But yeah, he struck me. I couldn't believe it. You know, I put him down. I had him very under control. Under control. I wasn't hurting him. You know, just letting him know. You know, if you push your luck, you know, just consequences. Then I ended up in a Kimura, which is a position where basically I had him, you know, pinned down and under control, and just to let him know. No, you can't behave. You can't go on. You can't behave.
No. Yeah,
And
I
people.
think the situation was handled very well. I mean, he didn't get the head boxed off him. You
Yeah.
know, you restrained him, and you know, he admitted on camera that he assaulted you first.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we have been dealing with this kind of stuff the whole way along the Shannon on our Sovereign Voyage, and I have to say, you know, it was like the movie Every Which Way But Loose, where Clint Eastwood
Yeah,
has a
right.
load of bikers chasing around after him, and they never beat him. You know.
I remember that movie from back in the day. Yeah, Clint Eastwood, isn't it? And the orangutan. Yeah.
Give me a right, Clive. You
Yeah.
know, but the bikers, you know, what were they called? The Spider Gang.
I can't remember. It's
Oh,
years since I
the
see it.
Black Widows, something like that, wasn't it?
I remember they were just a bunch of losers. They just like everything they did just backfired.
But that they remind me of Antifa, you know, and especially on the Sovereign Voyage. That's
Oh,
exactly the kind of stuff that we were dealing with. But you know what? I mean, the impact that we had on the libraries, the first day that we started, the books were cleared out of the shops. I mean, we've had a massive pushback. Leo Varadkar was coming out with all kinds of articles. You know, he was saying that we'll be born in people, born in books, and then born in people next. He
yeah.
wrote letters to public letters in the Irish Times to every librarian, giving them support, knowing full well what was in the dating apps. And now I believe there's an article with him saying the books are inappropriate for children.
Some of the books are inappropriate for the
Some of them,
children,
yeah.
apparently. This is what we've been saying the whole time, the whole way through. So he just validated what we're doing here. And by the way, they're still talking about the libraries, our campaign, to this day. And they're trying to tie in with what happened in the Dáil to the libraries. Like it's
That's
all connected.
right. They are indeed. And let me just go and I'll get something there from Eamon Ryan. I'll just read out a little bit there. It's on my Telegram channel. 2 seconds. Green Party leader Eamon Ryan said that protests outside Leinster House were a shocking example of the madness witnessed outside libraries in recent
Oh,
weeks.
wow. That's news to me. I look, he's another
And
one.
that's the Irish Examiner.
Wow, he's another one throwing his 2 cents in there. But look, I was watching that you know, you had a clip up on your channel as well, and a family member told me that they were watching the show last night, and these family members would have been on board the whole way through, but they're seeing how we're being attacked.
That's
And
right. That was they had a crime writer John Mooney on TV,
yeah,
VMTV, to speak on far right groups in Ireland, and says that political groups are monitored on a 24-hour basis by An Gardaí, and if there is a threat, they will use physical surveillance. Now, I've
yeah,
been surveilled the past 3 years. Excuse me, I'm nearly spitting there. But I've been surveilled the past 3 years. I have been followed multiple times from my house. I have even found the record sheets in my garden of what I was doing, the times, dates,
wow.
everything. So they're doing this a long time. You know, that's how afraid they are.
Wow, and there'd be no mistake, no two ways about it. They must be. They must be. And
You
if the
know,
Gardaí are
like
watching now, I just want to say, you know, by your by their knee-jerk panic mode reaction, and that's these are all the whole thing with the doll was done out of desperation because I've never seen anything like it before. Like we've been up there year in year off over the past few years, and we've never seen the barricades like that. So we knew they were up to no.
no, not like that. Not like that.
Um, yeah, but they're in panic mode, and on that show as well, it's all about it's all about the library staff, how they're being treated, and we're against the LGBT community. But it's never about why can't they expand on what Leo Varadkar said? He said that, you know, some of these books are inappropriate. Why, you know, if they're the media, Why can't they open up on that point? Because they're
No,
terrified. Because
they are
they're
terrified.
terrified.
We present a threat to the whole establishment right now. We have been proven right on every single issue that we have faced down. For me, it's nearly 10 years now that I've been fighting, proven right in everything. Sadly, don't
Yeah.
want to be proven right. I really don't. I wish things were different. I wish I wasn't right, but
Mm.
we have been right. And we've grown in people's trust because we are fighting for the truth. And that truth presents a massive, massive problem where they have to now bring in hate speech laws. And no matter what, they have to demonize us, Irish people, so that they can get their World Economic Forum plan to 2030.
And we're on their
They
way.
won't do it with us in the way, Ross. They
Yeah,
won't do it
we're
with us in
going
the
on
way.
their side. And going back to that program and what a threat we are to them, they even touched on that, how we're not a threat, like maybe in a way a terrorist might be, but he kind of alluded to how we're a threat to their to what their agenda, what they're trying to roll out, because
Well,
we're
we're right now, anybody who is holding traditional Catholic values or Christian values specifically, like what's happening in America, traditional Catholics are put on watch lists. Traditional Catholics communities are being infiltrated by CIA agents,
wow.
and they are basically classing Catholics, traditional Catholics specifically, because there is a difference, a massive difference between traditional Catholic and a modern Novus Ordo Catholic. But they're going after the ones that hold the tradition. And I mean, it's the same here in Ireland. They demonize me for being a tradition. They call me an extremist, when they're the extremists. They're the ones that are out depopulating the place. I'm just the one trying to hold the values we've
Exactly.
had steeped in this country for hundreds and
Yeah.
hundreds of years.
Well, that is the truth. We've never seen Ireland in such bad shape.
No,
We have
no,
record everything. You name it,
no.
homelessness, the hospital beds, or the education system. The whole everything is just like I'm just after losing my thought there. They're extreme in what they're doing, right? And then when someone points out what they're doing that is extreme, it's reversed on them because they blame you for what they're guilty of, and they call you
Yeah,
the extremist. We
yeah,
get
they
the
do.
extremist.
Yeah, and this is why we have to be very careful at the moment because I'm watching videos across the world. Things are spilling out onto the streets everywhere, and they're using this against us. Like, oh, look, civil unrest, we need to clamp down even further. I think I was looking at other articles as well. They're going to want to put a mile and a half barrier around the Dal if they know of any protests that are happening, you know, and they're just going to keep bit by bit, excuse me, bit by bit, taking away these freedoms and taking away our rights, and using like the other day, what happened outside the Dal, it could have been very easily January the 6th insurrection.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Very, very easy. That's
Well,
why, when I was there with Ferg, when I got there a little bit late, but I actually left a little early, and I was glad I left early when all that. I just left when the
same here.
messing kind of started. But we were there. We were saying we were there. I said we were to do things peacefully. Yes, we have to fight them head on. Yes, we have to do it legally, and yes, we have to do it peacefully. That is the way that myself and yourself have been working over the past couple of months. We have been getting massive results in that way. We don't need to chase people down the road like that,
Oh,
and shouting and
that's
screaming at them and stuff like that.
let that be a lesson as well, because it doesn't look good for us.
No,
But understandably, people are so angry. There was one poor
yes,
girl, she spent her whole life savings, was it 60, or was it, sorry, 30,000 euros or something like that, just to stay off the streets. And look, she's really feeling it. She worked bloody hard to earn that money, only for it to be squandered. And there's a lot of angry people out there. And Healy,
And what to say that about the angry people, because I'd like to get your opinion on this. Healy Ray come out and after what happened, and he was saying, "Oh, I think it was early in the morning." He's saying it's 7 o'clock in the morning now. Where's everybody that was making noise the other day? Basically saying these are all you have no jobs, these are worthless people of Ireland, the scum of the earth, basically, like we had nothing better to do than be there. When you're talking about this woman who spent their whole life savings, is being
yeah,
left with nothing, kicked to the curb.
yeah,
All our families, my family and generations and all have fought for this country, died for this country, and this is the answers that we're getting from
yeah.
Healy Ray. What have you got to say about that?
Well, what I know is he lost a lot of support for making a statement like that. That's such a derogatory thing to say about any group of people, and a lot of people there we know, they work very hard, and that poor woman to be told that by a politician who's, he's getting every bloody benefit. He's getting money from the government for housing Ukrainians, I believe, and other refugees. He's got every advantage. He lies for a living. He's a basically, what do they say? Politics is acting for ugly people, So they're basically actors, They're not representing the Irish people, and I think he lost a lot of support for that, Andy, because that's a very derogatory thing to say about a group of people. It's just painting everyone with the one brush, and especially that woman that made that speech. We're just it's such a contrast to what he said. He hasn't got a clue what he's talking about, basically.
No, he doesn't. He's not in touch with what the
No.
people on the ground at all. He's completely out of touch, and it's people like him that are trying to come across, because when I got to ask him a question when he was outside the Dal a couple of months ago, and he's coming
Right. That's
across
right.
and saying, I stand up for traditional values, and that's not what we're seeing. He's been headed up as put as the head of the committee for looking at the new laws for euthanasia. I mean, the fact that he's even entertaining this
Wow.
is dangerous.
Well, he'd probably make a pretty penny out of that one too, especially if he's involved in it. But I want to
Yeah,
go back to Healy Ray. Was it 6 weeks ago? Whenever it was, we were up outside the Dáil, and he came out. I'm standing on this side of the fence with GE to support the Shoreland and a traditional man and all that. But when we all asked him questions,
yeah,
specific questions about Leo Varadkar and what he was saying about us and about the book, and these people, Andy, you can't pin them down, because they're afraid to say, they have to say everything in a vague kind of a way. Because if they say anything kind of like, if they take any kind of strong stand or anything, it might come back and bite them. Like, this is how these people think. But, why was it okay for him to come out 6 weeks ago? And why did he come out Wednesday? I think he came out Wednesday because he knew it was an opportunity for, I think it was a publicity stunt, and more than that, I think the media already had their scripts written. They were locked into the into their workplace, and they couldn't leave. All we need now is a politician to go out, and we need the optics to back up our story. And that's what he did. He wasn't under any threat. He was under no threat, and he knew that. Donncha O'Leary came out as well, and they're acting like the heroes. Now that the country's and the attentions is on him in the country, and they're trying to milk it for all it's worth. But again, it's backfiring, because people are sick to death of politicians, and they can.
I mean, the anger that's going on around the place. We're seeing a small bit of that. On Wednesday, but it's all over this country right now. Everybody that I talk to is angry. They really are pissed off, and it justifies nearly what they're doing, because they won't be able to walk down the streets, and this is what we're witnessing: is
Yeah,
that they can't walk down the streets now. I don't condone what happened the other day,
yeah.
but
Same
like
here. I
these
don't think it's a
people
good
are
look.
not giving us answers. They're not giving us a voice. they're going against us. They're not, I mean, not just going against us, but they're trying to kill us at every corner.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
nobody is speaking up for us. And what are we left to do? Only, people are to get
No.
frustrated on the streets,
And
People are being pushed into 15-minute cities, and I mean they're getting trucks and driving over the guard, the police to get out,
I just find it was so sickening to see our friend Dave as well got slammed. What's the update with him as well?
He's fine. He was grand. I spoke to him when I got home. I gave him a call because everybody was a bit worried about him, but a bit of a bump on the head and stuff like that. But he's okay, He's okay.
But their whole level of aggression was, I think, it was orchestrated, and they wanted as
Me
many of
too.
us as they could possibly get to shame
Yeah.
us into protesting. I just want to make another little point there as well. Remember when we were doing the libraries, and they're on the radio and they're slandering us and everything else. Why can't these people go to the bloody politicians? Why can't they go outside the door? Why can't they complain outside the door? And that was completely contrived. That whole thing with the barriers, with the Gardaí arresting people earlier, with them drawing the hard line in the sand. We're going to arrest you now. And who did they arrest? They arrested 2 pregnant women. They arrested elderly women. They arrested a woman for saying, "Lads, what are you doing?" And then an old man, I believe. And yeah, look, they're they're the far right, just innocent, concerned people of Ireland, men and women of Ireland. And
Yeah.
people see it, Andy. People are starting to really see through it here.
Yeah, and that's only bringing more. Like, we're being gaslit through all this, We're being pushed to the edge, and it's deliberate,
Yeah.
I mean, Leo Varadkar, he really believes that he's going to be in power by 2030. They're making plans like there's no more elections, and they're doing it in our face right now. He's saying we have to reach the 2030 goal. Well, I mean, how can he think so far if he's not going to be in power for so long? But here we go. He's in power 12 years now, and he was never voted in once. He's not going to be voted in for the next 12 years, and he's still going to be here pushing the same agenda.
It's absolutely sickening, But I tell you what, for him to take a step back and to say he was forced, that must have like really gutted him to come out the other day to say, what these lads are actually, they have a point. These books are inappropriate. So
Yeah.
I take comfort in that,
No, so do I. I mean, he must be getting. We've noticed that when we were doing our work, we had a lot of guards on our side, and there's a new poll after coming out, and it's a 99.9% no confidence vote in Drew Harris.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that's happening, because the orders that are coming down from on high from Drew Harris, they can see it clearly now. They can see it. A lot of them can see it clearly. There's a massive divide in the guards right now.
Yeah.
Massive divide.
A blind man can see what's going on here. A blind man can see what's going on here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just want to make another point about the media as well, about the Dáil on Wednesday. And by the way, it was so lovely to see everyone up there Wednesday. Oh man, it was fantastic. Like, all the people that I look up to and respect through this whole past 3 years. I'm not going to get into names, because once you get into names, you're going to probably forget a few, and why didn't I say that?
You can never cover everybody. You can never cover everybody. That's the thing, because you'll say a few names, and then after this, you go, "Oh, I forgot so and so."
Yeah, exactly. But it was brilliant. It was a great energy up there. It was a great atmosphere. There was lovely speeches being made. So it just goes to show you this whole thing was contrived. And so yeah, maybe some politicians are going by and got a reaction from a crowd, but it wasn't anything like that we haven't done before. And they're making out to be something. The media is painting this to be like January 6th, like this is a unique. And I'm listening to all the media and all the lies, and we haven't got a cohesive message. My God, we're seeing it from the bloody rooftops very clearly. And we do have different topics to cover. Andy, I think our speciality is now the protect childhood. You know,
Yeah,
that's what
it
we're
is.
kind of
It is.
focused on. Then you
It is.
have Derek
Well, I have to
Ryan.
say, the article that you sent me earlier from the journal, they went into it. I'll just read it out what they said were saying about myself, because I spoke outside Leinster House, and it says activists who have been taking part in protests about LGBTQ plus or sexual education books in libraries and bookshops were also at the event, including Andy Heasman. Speaking to the crowd outside Leicester House, Heasman praised the conspiracy theorist character who appeared on RTE soap opera Oprah Fair City. Well done, Fergal, Heasman said to Cheers. Adding, he's right on the money.
Funny. In fairness, though, they are they're not far wrong.
Well, I mean, Fergal is doing the business. I mean, he's talking about issues that we couldn't talk about for so long, even though they're making him out to be this, mad conspiracy theorist. He has talked about certain things. Let's hope he doesn't end up so extreme where he's pulling books out of libraries.
Oh my God, it's magical. It's beautiful. It's life imitating art, or art imitating life.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
this is just another thing. But listening to just the media over the last few days, and their reaction, they're shitting themselves, Andy. They're so rattled because
they
all
are
we're doing is with
thrown.
such a simple message that
Yeah.
they can't deny. And this is why we're going to continue,
Oh, we're
because
not stopping. We've had a massive success from the Sovereign Voyage. We're regrouping now after that, as you know ourselves. We've got big plans going forward. There's books still in the libraries, and we're going to be checking out what other books they're trying to sneak in around these other books, because they're going to try and replace them.
yeah.
And there's still a lot of work to be done.
Mm.
But great thing is that the acknowledgement that we're getting specifically from Leo Varadkar to say that some of these books are inappropriate.
Oh, for him to
You know,
say that, you could imagine, that's probably the last thing he wanted to come out and say, because it
he
just.
has to. I mean, if he doesn't, he's painting himself like every predator out there.
I think he's letting himself an escape clause, because if someone comes down the road and says, "Hold on a second," and he'll just say, "Oh no, actually, I said that some of the books, they're sneaky, sneaky individuals." He's
Yeah,
probably.
they are double-tongued. They will say one thing to one person and another to, they say one thing publicly and do another thing privately,
I know, I know.
and these are masters at that.
They are. Well,
We just
they stick to
have to
very
keep
simple
that pressure
rules.
on. We have to make sure that we're not stopping.
It seems like they stick to very simple rules in a way, as sneaky as they are. I met up with Thomas Gould with my friend, our friend Anita, and my God, like to get him to answer a straightforward question, it's like getting blood from a stone. It's very hard to do. And even though you said, "Oh, you said this," and therefore, "Oh no, they slip and slide every which way. They're so hard
Yeah,
to get a straight answer from." But going back to the books as well, I was just reading today. There's another really potent book called Genderqueer, or was it? Sorry, queer. Yeah, sorry, queer gender. Sorry, it's a book. It's explicit. It's so extreme. But it
right.
was pretty good news because the author came out of that book. It's for LGBT community. She
Yeah.
said she said it's not suitable for children.
So
Yeah,
the author
the author herself.
themselves are saying,
It's
and
not
it's
at
still
all.
probably going into the children's section.
So I'm going to put out a shout out there to James Dawson, Juno Dawson, whatever his or her name is. Here's your opportunity, James, to come out and make it clear you're not for children reading that filth. But don't be
Well,
holding your breath.
I think he's made statements in the past, like, and kind of attacked us as well for getting what they reckon is vital information that children need to know.
Voice and
you
information.
know. And I can't see him all of a sudden, unless he has a massive change of heart and sees the errors of his ways, would he come out with a statement even like that? Because they are so hell bent on protecting these books, only for the work that we've done, and including Jana with the leaflets and the campaigns that we've had. Them books would be still sitting in them shelves, and they would be, all over this country right now. And even with the schools now, with what they're doing with the schools, they're still flat out pushing the stuff into the schools.
They are. I was at the schools yesterday, and I was trying to get the faculty members to answer a very simple question, and it is, how many genders are there? And they would refuse to answer, because look, their job would be on the line if they told the truth. And on the other side of the coin, they can't say there's as many as you want, because they're going to look equally. They're going to look ridiculous. So, but anyway, I think they wouldn't be in that position if they didn't go along with it in the first place anyway, because I literally had a headmaster tell me that there was many genders. There's more than two. So this is what they're teaching, and it just goes against your human nature to want that to go ahead to innocent children. So this is what we're doing. This is why we're a problem.
Look what they're doing to Enoch Burke right now.
Oh yeah, I wanted to get into what they're doing to us as well, because and you too, you got things hanging over your all of a sudden you were getting summonses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're coming after me for look, for the whole Leonard O'Sullivan thing, and I got caught with a bloody pencil sharpener, and they're doing me for bloody weapons for yeah, I was using it as a pencil sharpener. And look, I was an idiot. In my mind, it was one Monday, and I went in to give my statement, and everyone knows there's going to be a bench warrant out for your arrest. And they made it 4 o'clock, because they knew by the time I was finished that interview that the course would be closed, and they'd have to hold me overnight, and da 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 da. But this is the price you pay for truth speaking to power. They don't like it
though, and you will be persecuted, and it's nothing new to be persecuted for speaking the truth. I mean, this is how martyrs happen. And it's been going on for 2,000 years since, and Jesus showed us that. He went out and he spoke the truth, and he went against the grain, and they set him up and murdered him. And there's been many, many more, especially in this country, Ireland. They say you can walk out and pick up a handful of soil, and it's a second-class relic, because we've had so many saints and martyrs in this country.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
well, there's artificial hills scattered all over the country from the deaths during the famine. So, well, genocide, not famine.
Genocide. That was a serious genocide on the Irish people. We were sent to the four corners of the world in the coffin ships.
Decimated our population from, what was it? Was it 10,
14 million
to what? Under 5 million, was it?
Under 5 million, yeah. I think it was nearly 4 million. We were depopulated at an amazing rate. It was kind of, and I mean, they stole all the grain, they stole they took all our food, and the potatoes weren't rotten.
I know. They were shipping off here in Cork, down at Colkay. They had armed guards protecting the grain that they were shipping over to England.
Yeah. They were finding bodies at the side of the road, and the bodies were green because they were eating grass.
Jesus, huh? It was a genocide, and was it the King of Spain wanted to donate tons of food to the Irish people, but Queen Elizabeth or Victoria at the time didn't allow that, because it made her look mean and not as generous as the king. But look, Andy, they haven't snuffed us out here. We're just still a few.
No. Well, we have to take lessons in all this, because they're doing it all again. They're trying to do it again, except they're not doing it. They're doing it a lot more shrewdly this time. They're cutting out the farmers. Farmers, I mean, they're not making a profit right now. Farmers have absolutely nothing. I mean, You know, we've got 13,000 people homeless on our streets. You know, there's people dying on the side of our streets already. You know, that's without a doubt.
No,
You
no, it's
know,
been on for years. It's been on for
where
years.
people getting evicted from their homes. You know, I mean, it's all happening. People need to wake up and, you know, it. We all get very nostalgic over our past, but we can't see what's right in front of us now. That we're repeating history. We're repeating all these certain times again. We're here now. We're being occupied, which I was saying in the live stream last night because I did it over at Knox Ryan, where they have the EU flag flying in the middle, you know, and you know that's telling you, that's saying, look, this is us now. You're not Irish anymore. This is you'll follow our law, not your constitution,
Yeah.
you know.
But
And
people are thankfully they're starting to see they're sick of the lies, the politics, and there's definitely a shift in the air. And
it is. That's what they're terrified of because, you know, a lot of new independents have come up. You know, Derek Bly and Ireland Force, they're doing fantastic work as well. You know, a lot of people are working on different things and they feel a major threat right now. They
well,
feel a
actually,
major threat.
I want to touch on that as well because I want to go back to what the mainstream media are saying as well about our approach and that we haven't got a cohesive message. But we do have a cohesive message, and it's very, very clear. Like I said, ours is protect childhood. Derek Bly is Ireland first, and all what that means. You know, he's not against immigration. It's just the immigration that we have now, and it's like us. No matter how many times we clarify ourselves and what we have, we're not against the LGBT community. And Derek might say he's not racist, and he's not racist. It doesn't matter because the media miss the point time and time again. They won't let us on. I mean, if that was a proper TV show there where they have all these so-called experts, why can't they call up one of us and ask us to, you know, like for a right to a pry or
Because you see, the whole thing is we're not included,
yeah, well, we're
right?
so
They
excluded.
ask us, why don't we support the LGBT community? Well, we're not, why should we support something where we're being persecuted when we try and say, no, well, I'm straight. Oh, you're straight. Well, you're anti-LGBT. They label us, they mock us, and if we speak up against it to try and protect our, you know, our Christianity, even, you know, it's all hell that breaks loose.
But I wouldn't mind, Andy. It's not us bringing the gay community into it. It's them. It's they're like,
Mm.
okay, we're going to decide that you're all for this. And no,
Yeah,
this is a childhood issue. It's nothing to do with
exactly.
what your
And you know
sexuality
what?
is.
They're shooting themselves in the foot again because most of the gay people that come up and ask me what kind of work am I doing, and I explain it to them, and they're like,
Yeah.
so what's the story? You're not against gay people? I'm like, look, whatever two gay men or two gay women, whatever they do in the room through their own consent has absolutely nothing to do with me. But when it comes to the children, it's a no-go area. We have to do something. And you know, once you, like you always say, scratch the surface, and it's game over.
That's
So
all
let them
it
bring
takes.
in every single group that they want, you know, because it's not going to work. They can
No.
call us any, and
That's
as
why
you
they're
said,
so terrified. That's why we need to go to the libraries. And I hope we can do a few libraries within the next week or two as well.
we will be back on the road. Well, I'll be back on the road hopefully tomorrow, and next week we will be traveling around. We're not going to say exactly what libraries we're going to, but we will be definitely going to libraries that we already know where the books are. We've
Mm.
been keeping an eye on them that way, but we've just been getting ourselves back together. But the paper and all, it's all ready to go.
Good.
Actually, I might need a couple amendments considering Leo Vadkar's new words because we might add some of
Oh,
that
yeah,
into
yeah,
it
yeah.
because he's recognizing that some of these books are inappropriate. So we will
Mhm.
let all the librarians know that Leo Vadkar has said this, you
Yeah.
know, and that he's in
Sure.
agreement with us.
I'd love to. I'm going to keep my ear to the ground and find out if he's coming out to Cork anytime soon. And I would love to pose that question to him maybe ask him which books exactly are you referring to, and just ask him a nice polite question. Hopefully he won't start serenading and singing songs. And he'll have the decency to answer a straightforward question. And I'd be happy to ask him that question. But I think they're very evasive now, the politicians these days, when they do anything. They don't have a public calendar like they used to have. Because look, people are not too happy with them, and they can feel it. They're even giving them every TD $5,000 to install security cameras into their place of work and home, I believe.
And what politician has been hurt in the past 3 years?
Really good question. Really. Oh, do you know what they were saying? I think it was Joan Burton during the water charges, I believe it was. Oh, she was surrounded by a group of thugs, and she was severely harassed. No, what they did there was people were raw with anger, and all they did was they didn't lay a finger on her. But that's the worst. This is the worst example they can come up with. Mick Barry, he locked one of our friends into his office, essentially imprisoning her. The file went to the DPP. But I don't think any politicians have ever been hurt. There's no example.
Well, I can't remember. I don't remember hearing in the news politician hospitalized because of far right attack. I don't remember anything like that. All I remember is, oh, far right are peacefully outside somewhere looking for answers that they can't get, because that's all I just say. I mean, the fact that they're coming out and saying that how they can use this from what happened on Wednesday is unbelievable, because there's no
real connection.
Nothing burger. I mean, they're getting all this security and nobody's been hurt.
First of all, they erect all the barriers. Then they have extra Gardaí there. Then they make sure to get that footage of Michael Healy-Rae, and then to have the arrests. And they're like, that's the story. We have to do something about these protesters. But I don't think it's working, and I don't think it will work. And I don't even think this hate speech thing that McEntee wants to put through, I don't think that's going to work either.
No.
I think
there's I don't know. They'll be making some amendments. They're probably making it look so extreme so that they can present it and say, well, look, it's not so bad now, and still get it through. This is what they always do. Present something, go over the mark with it, make it look bad. Oh no, that's too much.
Like with the abortion as well.
Yeah, well, that's supposed to be safe and effective. And look, we've thousands and thousands and thousands of Irish kids and thousands,
No, the abortion, when they were doing the amendment for the abortion, and they were saying, oh yeah, you can get terminated up to a certain point, but they got it through, like you said, they have the requirements. But once they get it past the line, then they kind of pull things back and they make it like easier to get an abortion. You can have it to a later term. But just with this hate speech law as well, like you were saying, they do the same. And the euthanasia, they want to get that passed in Ireland, and they're gonna come with.
When we were campaigning to save the 8th, we knew then they were making plans then for euthanasia. I mean, it's in the pipeline a long time. We knew once they got this through, the abortion, the floodgates will open. We'll lose all our rights, which, I mean, everything that we said was going to happen is happening right now. Like we did predict this. It's not just predicting it, it's because when you see a ball being thrown, you can see where it's going to land, and it's landing us right into the shit of it, And euthanasia is left. I mean, what they want is this perfect utopia world where nobody is sick, nobody gets old, and everybody's happy.
They designate. They're talking about designating a day for you to die, your euthanasia day, so you won't be a burden on everybody else. Look, that sounds crazy right now. That does sound
This is
crazy.
the culture of death that we're living in, and kids are being taught this culture of death in school, that it's good and that it's prosperous, and it's not. They're going to school, they're learning to be a different gender, they're learning how to kill themselves if they get depressed, they're learning how to kill their children if they get pregnant. I mean,
You're learning about critical race theory, where if you're white, you're privileged, and if you're Irish, you're even more privileged. So they're
yeah.
teaching Irish boys and girls to be think of everyone but themselves,
Well,
basically.
2 and 2 is 5.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I
Or well,
mean, that's the way they really are, because you can identify as anything. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's all logic. Everything is gone out the window, that they can't even answer the question to you when you're outside the school asking, how many genders are there? They can't
Yeah.
answer two.
Well, I'm going to say as well to the parents out there, if they want to know where their teacher really stands in all of this, just ask your teacher a very simple question, and it's that question: how many genders are there? And if they say anything more than two, well, your child's in trouble.
Big trouble. That is
It's
actually a really good test right there now,
it's
Ross, to ask your teacher how many genders are there,
the
you
boy
know,
that
because it's going to seep down into your child's brain. If you're putting your child into public school, there's no avoiding the stuff that they're going to be taught.
yeah
Nothing in school right now, in public schools, is truthful. You
no
can't trust them with any subject. I wouldn't trust them with history. I wouldn't trust them
no.
with geography, because now there's so many things happening in the world. I mean,
Geography is all about climate change.
yeah,
Uh, um, all these subjects have been infiltrated with the science is all about bloody all these different genders you can be now. They're just infiltrating all it because I was chatting to a buddy of mine. He's kid and he was in a junior or something like that. And he was telling me it's the only two subjects, maths and Irish, that have not been touched by the agenda. Maths and Irish, and then even in
well, I,
Irish,
I believe Irish has been, because Irish has never been. They've never made it easy. They've
no.
never made it, and that's why the language has dwindled from the country. Like, there's hardly many people that will speak fluent Irish now, and I believe that has been done deliberately as well.
Of course it
You know,
has. Of course it
yeah,
has. Don't get rid of everything that they hate us, Andy. They fucking
yeah,
despise us.
they really do. And this is how anti-Irish the establishment is right now, that they can label good Irish people who are trying to stand up as nearly terrorists now at this stage.
Yeah. I mean, we're
You know,
not perfect, Andy. We're far from it. We're far from
we've
perfect.
never hurt anybody. We've never broken any laws. We've kept the law. And that's why they hate us, because these are the ones who are lawless. And we're
They're the
exposing them.
evil ones. It is a battle against good and evil because what they're doing is it doesn't get more vile than corrupting children's minds, destroying countries, killing, murdering people
Yeah,
with the vaccines. Now they're trying to legally murder people with the euthanasia. That's gonna be. I'll make a prediction. That's gonna be in the media cycle in the next 6 months to a year. And they're going to be talking about euthanasia, and they're going to be like, "Oh, if you're in pain and you only have 3 months to live, oh, why not?" They're going to use like arguments like that people can kind of like relate to. But then
yeah,
they're going to get it in, and they're going to start killing old people in the old folks' home. Or they're going to die in a few months anyway. It might just make it easier. They're costing the country X amount of millions, and look at where we are today compared to where we were when we were growing up. I mean, if that was back in my day, going to school, any father would go in, thump the shit out of the teacher, and everybody would give him a pat on the back. I
yeah.
know people are afraid to say a
You know
boy's.
what? I remember my dad standing up from, just as you were saying that. I remember the teacher giving out to me when I was a kid. Now, I wasn't I wasn't a good kid now
You
or anything
see, you
like that.
soft little fecker, were you?
But my dad went into that school and let them have it. Like, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah, yeah.
where's that gone? Where your dad used to go in and do something, but so many broken families now. So many separated
Yeah.
families. We don't have the protection of the fathers anymore to be there, when
Oh,
they're really needed.
yeah. I'll give you a good little story though. like I said, it was at the schools yesterday, and this mother came out, and we gave her a flyer, and it's like it's a very similar experience that we get a lot of the time. Oh yeah, I'm aware of it. I know, and I'm disgusted by it. Anyway, this one, she got that information, and she went straight into the principal, and she said, under no circumstances is my child to learn about these things, about different genders and all the rest of it. And so that was a lovely thing to see.
Yeah, that's it. See, you're reaching
More
people
mothers and fathers out there.
one person at a time, and that's how we have to do it. That's fantastic to hear that, because the skill's being put on notice verbally by a parent.
Yeah.
You know.
We set them back years, and maybe Andy. We set them back. We're such a thorn on their side, and we're connected to the libraries and the bookshops as well. And they really, really, it's like, it's kind of like, that kid in school that he doesn't want to be mocked, so he gets mocked more. Well, it's like the media saying, every time we go to a library or bookstore and they make a big song and a dance about it, it's like, well, we're going to do it again. Why wouldn't we? We're perfectly within our rights. We're very respectable. We're not insulting anyone. We're going there with legal notices now. We have great solicitors, lawyers for justice on site. Putting together some wonderful, and we're quoting the law and what laws they're breaking, and to stop, and
we do.
It's all very above board. It's legal notices. So
we have a fantastic team there to work with us. We really do. We're very blessed to be in the position that we're in, that we can all use each other's resources that way, because when we do come up with a bit of magic that we can get out and make a real difference. It's very, very empowering for us to have that team there. We couldn't do it without them.
Yeah,
we couldn't do it without them. So I'm very grateful. I'm not going to go into naming, but I'm very grateful for everybody that has been stepping up and taking this seriously and working with us. I mean, people are, they're working all day and they're working all night. Then, whether they're writing letters and putting leaflets together and so many other things I can't talk about right now, but we will be in the next couple of, I'd say, month or two. But between then, we are getting back on the road. We are getting back out there and taking our direct action like we've always been, like we have been doing. We've been run off our feet. We've been all the fake news, everything that we've had to deal with, the past couple of weeks. And plus, I think we both needed a bit of a break after the epic journey of the voyage,
I need to recharge, absolutely. And I'm fully motivated and ready to go again.
The trigger finger's itchy now.
Oh yeah, especially when I hear the media bitching about us the way they are. It just fuels you. If you're tired, it rejuvenates you. And I just think we're not going to go away anytime soon. And the way we're doing things is completely above board. Oh shit! Sorry. Again, my dry throat. Got a bit of a cough there, and for the last couple of weeks. Just edit that out if you don't mind.
You didn't do a COVID test.
Huh? But I just wanted to say the amount of people we know, we meet a lot of people, and we know a lot of people when we have these rallies. And the overwhelming thing was like how much they enjoyed the voyage and how they want to come along the next time, and will there be a bigger boat. And I
well, you know what we're up to, Ross. We have we're already, just to let you know, I've nothing to hide about this. We are planning for next year's voyage already, and we have. I mean, this year we went bigger and better. Next year we're going even bigger and even better. That is without a fact. We're already putting our resources in. There's already been money spent on next year, but I'm not going to tell you what we're doing. But we are going bigger. We are going better. And I'm very excited about it, being honest.
Who knows? Maybe the RT and the mainstream media might see their way through all the lies and come and support us. Because if it was a rainbow flag going up the river, It'd be
Well,
completely different.
they'd have
reality.
sponsors, they'd have everything. We went up that river, and what kept us afloat was the donations that we were getting along the way.
Yeah.
We were literally taking leaps of faith everywhere we were going because we were running out of money